Coney Island's first attraction wasn't the beach or amusements, it was the 1,000-acre tidal estuary known as Coney Island Creek. The first hotels and resorts in the 1820s grew up around this pristine wetland, known for its hunting and fishing. The next century would see the marshes filled and the creek fouled by industrial waste and sewage. The salt marshes that protected the area from flooding were filled in and developed. I grew up near Coney Island Creek and began photographing it in the 1960s when the waterway was at its lowest point, polluted and neglected. But I always knew there was something special about it, and I knew that it would survive.
Last October 29th, and here along Coney Island Creek, which was far and away the most significant entryway for Sandy's floodwaters in this area, we're moving ahead with a comprehensive plan to raise bulkheads, create or expand wetlands, and construct a tidal barrier in the creek's mouth.
The levee that's going to be built, as you can see, on the lower part, okay, which will control the waters coming in and out. In addition to that, there's also going to be a
barrier, and so we would really combine these, so looking across the creek, we would have a levee that would combine these two parts of the city, and it would have pipes underneath that could be closed off in advance of a storm. So it would flush normally with the tide, but with a storm it would just close off. And in the interim, we are advancing with some of the funds that we have in the Tranche 1 for the federal government, some other bulkhead raising projects in this area to increase the heights of the lowest lying parts of the creek.
While this plan is well-intentioned, the damming of estuaries is an ineffective and outdated 19th century solution to a 21st century problem. The creek should be cleaned and restored to a natural state that will prevent flooding. Coney Island Creek is an important environmental asset to the surrounding communities and the New York City bioregion and should not be endangered by hasty decisions. Regulating an estuary via mechanical means is a disaster in the making.
That stuff was going into that storm drain and it bonding to that organic material, which was then washed out into the creek, where even though there were signs, a lot of people in the peninsula, and not just here, a lot of people
fun. There are people fishing. people walking along the beach playing with their pets, and they don't have a care in the world about what chemicals or raw sewage or whatever's being dumped right on top of these people. There are people that use this creek besides recreational fishing just to get a meal, get a couple good meals out of this creek during the week, and they don't seem to have a care in the world. And I think that's despicable. That's despicable. Poor planning, no coordination. I've seen it happen over and over again. And I can see some logic to that, into this gate, in trying to protect Coney Island from heavy flooding. I understand it. The question is, how committed are they to doing proper engineering, proper chemical analysis, and making sure that it is in fact a wetlands preserve that we can be proud of? Or is this going to turn into one of these situations where it's a bait and switch routine, and what you're left with is a managed toilet bowl?
And actually there's a lot of trash if you go further down, a lot. I mean, you can't just grab everything. There's a lot. Like plastic things, tarp. Yeah.
We found a tractor tire, a lot of bottles, cans, plastic bags,
lighter, fishing line, fishing
yes.
Tell me that's not a fine, huh?
This is a wonderful resource. It is a natural resource, and with the help of volunteers over a number of years, as you know, the creek has been getting cleaner and cleaner. And I think this is the first time I've seen a underwater effort in cleaning, so we're pretty excited here at Parks.
things. But we need a lot of this sort of natural habitat, both grassland and marshland on our coasts, not just for the birds, but also for the protection of our human inhabitants of Brooklyn. I think it became very clear during Sandy that the marshes are a very natural way to stop tidal surges in a case of a storm. And when you pay everything to the edge and make everything a footbridge, you eliminate that safety net. In addition, most people don't realize, living in New York City, especially in coastal Brooklyn, this is one of the hottest bird migratory flyovers in the world. Where we're standing right now, believe it or not, behind this Home Depot in South Brooklyn by Coney Island Creek, is one of the top 50 places a birder must go before they die. You can get 200 species of birds here in a calendar year. And any sort of development
What do you think eats seaweed? Get up. And that's another comb jelly. Hey guys, definitely a treat to find one of these. Alright, it's called a horseshoe crab. You can see. Remember, these guys don't hurt. I can put my hand there, it's gonna grab to me, and it doesn't hurt. Alright?
Yes, touch it.
Wait, Chance, let me see. I want to see right here.
Here you got blues, you got weakfish, you got Lafayettes, you got porgies, you got eels. It's fun, and even if you don't catch nothing in an afternoon like this, look at that.
There's security, but he's sleeping. Security.
Security?
Security, but he's sleeping. That's my watchdog.